Today I'm going to show you how I set up my craft area to make miniatures, how I store my supplies, and also some of the most important supplies and tools for making miniatures. Links for all of the products that I mentioned will be in the description below. Firstly, a good cutting mat is ideal to cover your workspace. I made this storage box out of cardboard and craft paper, and I use it to store the tools I use the most. Tweezers, a small screwdriver, scissors. I also have this glass jar where I put small scraps of paper for the rubbish. I have some sandpaper, fine and coarse. Small things like erasers and clips. A craft knife, some scissors, and some pliers. I also have a ruler and a hole punch. And then I have the pencils and pens that I use most often. I also have a drawer underneath with the rest of the markers and pens that I don't use so often. And at the back I have all of my paintbrushes. These are all of the glues that I use. I live in Austria, so all of the packages are in German, but I will link the English versions below. I also use Yoo-Hoo hard glue, which I don't have any of at the moment, and it's quite good because it dries quite fast. I'll put the link to that one below as well. This is Yoo-Hoo white craft glue, Yoo-Hoo clear craft glue, white craft glue that I got from my local craft store, glue left over from a Row Life kit, some grass glue and a grass applicator, which I'll link a video to for how that works. This is Yoo-Hoo multi-purpose glue, and I also have a glue stick. I have a shoebox with all of the things I use to make miniatures. I have all sorts of wooden skewers and pop sticks, some grass fibers, small things that I've kept like lids and containers, small wooden pieces which are mostly left over from kits, some wooden pieces and glass bottles from the craft store, leftover wooden pieces from other projects, flowers and plants that I've already made but didn't end up using, wires and strings, small beads and corks and other metal objects, and some paint strips. These are all of the wooden pieces that I use for building things, so from left to right I have big skewers that you use for a barbecue, small kitchen skewers, thicker skewers that I got from a craft store, coffee stirrers, toothpicks, and miniature pop sticks. In another shoebox I have fabric and paper, so I have big pieces of fabric, small offcuts of fabric, coloured paper pieces and offcuts, and some stuffing. These are the different types of clay that I use. I have this cement look air dry clay, which I mostly use for making small pots. I have white air dry clay, which I often use for filling up the pots. And then I have Fimo for more detailed work. On the shelf I have paints at the bottom. I mostly use acrylic paints. I have these small miniature ones and also bigger bottles of colours that I use more often. I keep small containers so that I can mix colours and keep them. And I also have a squirty bottle with black wash inside. I have a small container with pegs for holding things while they dry. There's a jar with water for cleaning paintbrushes. And also this jar has sand that I use for filling miniature pots. It's dried peat, which comes with seed kits. You just wet it enough to make it come apart and then put it in a jar and let it dry. I have some small tools I use for Fimo. In this box I have masking tape, duct tape, clear tape, and string and wire. In this box I have Fimo, and I have a small saw for cutting wood. At the top here I store things which are drying and what I'm currently working on, as well as finished projects. And down the bottom I have books for reference and also for holding things down while they dry. Here are 3 very useful things. I have a pad of different patterned paper, which is really good for decorating, some watercolor paper, which is quite thick and quite sturdy even when you add a lot of glue or moisture, and some clear plastic binder covers, which you can use for windows. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully there was something that was useful for you. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below.